Our big guest this week is from Mount Vernon, South Dakota. He was a football star at the University of Iowa and a linebacker in the NFL for 11 years with the Minnesota Vikings. Here is Chad Greenway with Midco Sports Network's Jason Andera.
One question I have is you're a South Dakota legend. I mean, this is kind of opened some doors for other kids who have been able to use South Dakota as a launching pad, where that wasn't the case always. You were kind of a trailblazer. Talk about being a South Dakota trailblazer, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm one of them, right? Because I look at Ben Lieber and Mike Miller and some of these other guys who were just in front of me that were trailblazers for me as well. So I think I was kind of a part of that. It's fun to be able to give kids an idea that you can truly become whatever you want from any place in the world. And we didn't have a lot growing up, but I had really great parents that gave me a lot of great direction. I had a great community around me in Mount Vernon that supported me, and I had great youth coaches, and I had great people in our school that supported everything I wanted to do and accomplish. And once I went to Iowa, I had that same environment. So I think that the thing for me is to be able to be a conversation for parents to have with their kids about, if your dream truly is this, you can't tell them it's not possible. It's truly possible to do anything you want, to come from anywhere. I have a cousin that's an engineer. I have another cousin from Mount Vernon that's a doctor, right? And you can truly come from this part of the world in small town South Dakota or small town anywhere or big city anywhere and accomplish the goals when you have the right mindset and mentality and you build the right people around you is the most important thing. And I'm so proud to be able to kind of at least be one of the torchbearers for South Dakota and professional sports, and to give so many kids the idea that they can accomplish that goal. And it was always in the back of my mind throughout my entire career of really providing that example. So I felt that, I wouldn't call it a pressure, but I felt that necessity to do things the right way, to make the right decisions, to handle my business correctly, to give back to the community, to be a great dad and husband, because I want to be an example for young kids that want to be me, right? That want to be a professional athlete, that want to have their own path. And I hope that can resonate with those kids.
You talk a lot about youth sports. How's youth sports changed the most in your eyes? Not only, from the time that you were a kid, but even maybe before that, to seeing your kids play youth sports now.
Yeah, it's an unfair example coming from Mount Vernon. There was just really no club sports in general, right? We didn't. My kids played club soccer. Well, the problem with club sports is you start to push away from how important high school is. And you start to see that, I'm sure now in Sioux Falls, I have a nephew that plays for South Dakota Attack and basketball club, and they're out doing their thing right now in the summer and seeing what those opportunities can provide. Kids like Reed, that's coming from Mount Vernon, right, and provide those opportunities in basketball. It's great, but at the same time, in some ways, it takes away from the high school aspect of it, and that's what I don't like about it. Most people, I'm going to say 80, 90% of people, parents, coaches, really want to do things the right way. But there's that 10, 15, 20% that are out there just doing it for the financial gain of kids and families. And that's the part you don't like. If you can truly use sport as a way to bring in character, bring in work ethic, bring in teamwork, knowing that those kids most likely are going to end their careers in their senior year of high school, or if not before, and then the next percentage will probably end after college, and then a very, 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 very small percentage is going to play professionally somewhere. Knowing that our true gift is to give them lessons that they can take into life, into a job, into their marriage, into their family, and impact that. That's how we can use youth sports to truly impact. Now, as a parent, of course, I'm competitive. I want my kids to be good. If they want it, I want them to get the best. And that's part of that. But you're missing an opportunity if you're not teaching the lessons that they're really going to use when they become adults.
You talked a little bit about, building character as a coach. You've had a lot of different coaches. What have you been able to take? Is there a certain coach that's impacted you in a way that said, I want to be like that guy?
So many. Eric Denning, my high school basketball coach and baseball coach growing up. I mean, level of accountability. I love coaches that hold people accountable. And I don't care if you're 7 or if you're 27, because everybody has a level of accountability. If I'm a coach, that I know that Tommy can accomplish this goal. I know that Susie can do this and she can go this hard. Well, if I'm coaching 6th graders, right, I'm going to make sure that Susie is going to go that hard, because that's how you get better in life. not just in sports. So that's the part that really is really impactful from Eric Denning. Then I go into college, and I have so many great college coaches. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Myron Stephan, my high school football coach, because, I mean, he was my track coach, high school football coach, and he impacted my life in a tremendous way. And he just talked about mental toughness. He was a tough guy. He didn't make things easy, and you couldn't take the easy way out around him. And I learned a lot about just sport and doing things the hard way, but the right way from him. In college, I had so many great examples, and I think every great example of a coach I have is a coach who would never let me out of something easy. I want to be held accountable because I want what's best, and knowing that, and maybe that's just where I come from and what makes me up, but I just want to be pushed. And if somebody's not going to be willing to do that, then they don't have my best interest in mind.
So, last question, just because I don't know this. Were you a Vikings fan growing up?
Yes and no. Most of my friends are Vikings fans, so I always try to be like the antagonist. And I watch them every week, and sometimes I hope that they lost, just so I could go rub it into Lee Bullock, and sometimes they did, and I got to rub it in really good. But I was a 49ers fan because I was a complete bandwagon fan. I jumped on their bandwagon in the 90s because they had Jerry Rice in Montana and Steve Young and all the guys that I loved. Ronnie Lott I loved. So yes and no. It's not a fair question to ask. I can't answer that 100% truthfully.
Okay. That's all I got for you. Thanks, Chad.
You bet. Thank you.